Good evening. It is an honor for me to be here with you all tonight, and it's my pleasure to share my story with you all. So, started from joining the wrestling team at Master Charter Area Elementary School to standing here at the podium speaking to you all today. Beat the Streets Philadelphia has been a part of my life for the last 10 years, and every step of the way, whether I knew it or not, the organization and the people there have always had my back. Let me give you all some insight. So, my parents immigrated to the U.S. in the early 2000s from a country in West Africa called Mali. My parents were in search of opportunity and the dream of making a better life for themselves and their future children, me. So, in immigrating to the States, they had to make the sacrifice of leaving their firstborn son with my grandparents. To this day, they haven't been back home, and it is a not an unfortunate situation, but one thing their journey has instilled in me is hard work and sacrifice. My parents have worked hard to find their way in America and to provide for me and my 6 other siblings. So I learned from a young age that as much as we counted on mom and dad, they counted on us to make our opportunities and advantages mean something. I took it upon myself to work hard and strive for success, to attempt to repay them for the sacrifices they made for me. That mindset carried over into school, and I was an excellent and hardworking student throughout elementary and middle school. I got top scores amongst all my classmates at Master Charter Area Elementary, and was regarded as a model student by my peers and teachers. I wanted to be more than just a great student though. I wanted to be active, I wanted to be part of a team. I joined the flag football team, I did all right. I learned that bad eyesight and catching a football didn't really mesh well. I ran track, specifically the 400 and the mile, but that didn't intrigue me too much. But one day after English class, my teacher, Mr. Jason Wise, who's here today, recommended I go and watch the wrestling team practice after school. I watched kids of all shapes and sizes wrestling, at least learning to wrestle. And the thought that continued to pop into my head was, I think I can do these things better than these kids. The coaches were active members of the Drexel University wrestling team, Ian Hammond, Alex DeShantis, and Ryan O'Connor. I showed up to the next practice and knew that this was it. I found my challenge. It was a no-brainer for me to continue wrestling in high school. I applied to Central High, which at the time was the best in Philadelphia academically, and they were reigning Philadelphia Public League champions. So I was accepted and was tested academically and physically. I remember having to wake up at 5 in the morning every day to make my way to school. I would attend my classes and then head to practice after school. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would leave my high school practice and head to Beat the Streets Philadelphia, the mentoring center, where I would knock out some homework before me and a few other guys would leave for club practice at the Powell in Port Richmond. We trained from 6 to 8 and start the long trip home. By the time I get home, it'd be already 11 p.m. I'd go to bed and then be up at 5 a.m. to do it all over again. That was my life, in high school at least. In hindsight, it was a grind, but I loved it. It was great. I was grateful to have the challenge and desire to just go on and off the mat. At the mentoring center, I had access to mentors at the collegiate level that would help me achieve my academic and career goals. Specifically, Usman Diarra, Ebit Gerald, and Evan Botwin. These 3 individuals were a great support to me while I was just juggling the balance in high school, wrestling, applying to college, and preparing to compete at the collegiate level. I was eventually accepted to Drexel University and awarded a full-ride scholarship called the Liberty Scholarship. My plan was to major in mechanical engineering, walk on to the Drexel wrestling team, and to go from being coached by Drexel wrestlers in middle school to becoming a Drexel wrestler and studying engineering on a scholarship. It almost felt full circle. Almost because there was one last item to be checked off, and that was service, giving back to the program that helped shape me. As a freshman on campus, I jumped at the first opportunity to help out. I served as a lead mentor at the mentoring center and was a volunteer assistant coach for the club. By now, the mentoring center was undergoing some changes and improvements that would centralize its resources. Kids from all over the city, public or private, can now come in to get schoolwork done, meet with their mentor, grab a meal, and have a great practice all in one facility. These additions and improvements were a game changer, and they wouldn't have been possible without the support and contribution of our learners. They were a huge step in helping Beat the Streets Philadelphia fulfill its goal of positively altering life trajectory for kids in the city and the surrounding areas. It would be easier or understandable for me to feel jealousy or envy, but that's not the case at all. Instead, I'm proud to see how far the program has come. I'm proud to know that my experience and the experience of other mentees has driven these changes. And it makes me even more proud to see my youngest brother, Sekou, and my mentee, Simon, take advantage of these resources. Sekou is 12 and in the 7th grade. He began wrestling last year, and he reminds me a lot of myself in that he's a great student, he's always up for a challenge, and he dreams big. He tells me he wants to be an architect one day, and I have no doubt that he'll be able to achieve that goal. Simon is in his senior year at William Penn Charter School. Fortunately, he couldn't be here tonight. He's in the midst of applying to colleges and scholarships, and I'm sure his hard work throughout high school will get him to where he wants to be in August of next year. So, big ups to him. Don't need that anymore. As for me, I'm determined to finish out my senior year strong, both in the classroom and on the mat. Looking ahead, my goal is to be a Formula One aerodynamics engineer, and I'm currently applying to pursue a master's in motorsports engineering at Oxford Brookes University in the UK. So upon reflection, I realized that my true calling is service. Serving others at the mentoring center and on campus within my team gives me great joy and fulfillment. I want to continue to serve to show gratitude to my parents for their sacrifice. And I want to continue to serve to show gratitude to my parents for their sacrifice. And I want to help kids at the mentoring center realize that they're capable of much more than they think. I challenge you all to continue to serve in your own ways, because whether you know it or not, you're helping someone live their dream. So thank you.